Jack Sparrow is one of the most clever but yet very odd pirates to ever sail the seven seas. He uses his charm and quick thinking to move through the Caribbean, and over time he's become a legend in his own way because of it. But how would Jack hold up against some of the most famous pirates and smugglers in all of fiction? Now, I made sure that this list consists of characters that are either pirates, smugglers, or just have the same personality that Jack has. So, but before we do that, let me explain the tiers for you guys so you understand what I am ranking. Coming in at first, we have They'd Kill Jack Sparrow, which is pretty self-explanatory. It could go either way, which means it's a 50-50. Like, Jack Sparrow could win, or he could either lose. And honestly, it's up for debate. Somewhat hard, but Jack wins, which means it's kinda hard for Jack, but inevitably he will win. An easy fight is easy peasy, no diff. Now, coming in first, we have Han Solo from Star Wars. So if Han Solo and Jack Sparrow ever crossed paths, it would feel like looking into a mirror. Just one is from Star Wars and the other is from the Caribbean. Now, both are pretty handsome, they have charisma, and are pretty odd at some times. And they're always one step ahead of the people trying to catch them. Their encounter would likely start with a deal gone wrong because, both of these guys love to take without asking. So in combat, Han Solo is very fast with his blaster, and he wouldn't hesitate whatsoever to shoot if things got really serious, because bro literally upped his blaster on Darth Vader on sight, while simultaneously piping his daughter. Like, if we're talking about gangster, this guy's it. But Jack Sparrow's character's always been more about dodging danger than facing it head on. He's unpredictable, sneaky, and somehow always manages to survive situations that should have killed him. No, like literally every situation. I don't know how he does it. And if things ever get tense, Jack would probably just distract Han just long enough to slip away, or maybe even talk his way into a truce. And I'm not gonna lie, in the end, both characters would realize that they're way too similar to be enemies, and honestly would most likely just walk away. Like, either bruised or annoyed, but alive. And for this one, I would genuinely give it a 50-50. And next we have Captain Hook. Now, this would be a true pirate showdown. Two captains with completely different styles. Hook is dangerous, he's skilled with a sword, and carries himself with a sense of pride and class. And as we know, Jack Sparrow is the complete polar opposite. As we all know, Jack thrives in chaos, and his unpredictable behavior would most likely throw Hook off balance. So unless Hook manages to catch Jack completely off guard, Jack would likely stay one step ahead with tricks, clever escapes, and some good old-fashioned luck or plot armor. And in the end, Jack not only survives, but probably embarrasses Hook in the process. Maybe stealing his ship, his crew, or just his plain old dignity. Because let's be real, if he can go toe-to-toe with Davy Jones, I'm sure he can beat the Captain Hook with ease. So Captain Hook, not gonna lie, easy fight. And next we have Deadpool. So Deadpool is basically unstoppable. Like, he's immortal and completely unpredictable thanks to his insane personality. Now, Jack Sparrow would probably be baffled and annoyed by Deadpool's constant jokes and wild behavior, but honestly, that confusion might buy him some time. Like, if Deadpool finds Jack funny or entertaining enough, he might even just decide to let him live just for the laughs. I mean, this is Deadpool, for God's sakes. But let's just say Deadpool decides it's a very serious fight. Jack would stand no chance whatsoever. Like, he's completely cooked. Like, no matter how clever or slippery Jack is, Deadpool's healing factor means that he can survive almost anything, and his weapons and combat skills completely outmatch Jack Sparrow's. So Jack's only hope in this situation would be to charm Deadpool into sparing him, but otherwise Jack would die. But honestly, at least that movie would be entertainment. So yeah, Deadpool would 100% kill Jack Sparrow. And next we have Flynn Rider. Now, Flynn is fast and agile, able to slip through tight spots and think on his feet. But Jack has years of experience navigating dangerous situations where the stakes are much higher than Flynn has ever dealt with. He's been through life and death encounters with literal pirate lords and supernatural opponents. Instead of just a straightforward fight, these two would probably end up sizing each other up, trying to outsmart and outcharm one another. Now, it's easy to imagine them teaming up for a while each planning to double cross the other when the time is right, but in the end, Jack would win this fight 100%. So honestly, I put Flynn at easy fight. For Captain Hook, I would put him at somewhat hard, but Jack wins. Now, actually, let me change this. Somewhat of a challenge, because it's not going to be like insanely hard. And next we have Indiana Jones. So Indiana Jones is another character who honestly relies heavily on a combination of luck and intelligence to help him get out of some dangerous situations. Now, unlike many opponents, Indy wouldn't really necessarily want to kill Jack unless Jack was directly interfering with one of his precious ancient artifacts or just getting in the way of an important mission. But if a fight did break out, Indy's experience with a whip, gun, and hand-to-hand combat would likely give him a solid advantage over Jack. Now, these two do have very similar skill sets. I think I would have to lean more towards Jack having, the better skill set. But ultimately, if these two fought, I feel like Jack would come out alive. Though he may not walk away, without some trouble. I would have to put it in 50-50, but I would put him below Han Solo. And next we have my boy Luffy. Now, for those of you who don't know, Luffy is no ordinary pirate whatsoever. He is a rubber powered superhuman who is taking down some of the most powerful enemies in the world of One Piece, including warlords and entire fleets. Now, he's strong enough to punch through buildings, fast enough to dodge bullets, and determined enough to fight through anything if it means protecting his friends or chasing adventure. Now, Jack Sparrow, on the other hand, is smart and he is tricky. Now, Jack Sparrow, on the other hand, honestly is pretty smart, and he's really great at getting out of bad situations using his words instead of fists. And in this situation, Jack really can't fight Luffy because he would just lose instantly. But luckily for Jack, Luffy is usually pretty friendly, and he might even enjoy Jack's weird behavior. But then again, if Jack did something to annoy or threaten Luffy, it would be over in, mere seconds. So with this one is a no-brainer. Luffy completely kills Jack Sparrow. And next we have Loki. So right off the bat, this battle would be over before it even began. Loki is incredibly powerful. He has magic that can bend reality, create illusions, and strike down enemies just with a snap of his finger. Now, if Loki is toying with Jack, he might actually find Jack's clever nature amusing. I mean, to be honest, which one of these characters really wouldn't? Like, he maybe would even be impressed by his ability to dodge danger and talk his way out of trouble. But then again, as I already said, if he just wants him dead, he's dead. Like, Jack's only chance is if Loki loses interest or decides to spare him out of curiosity, or maybe because Jack reminds him of a worthy trickster. And without that, as we all know, Loki is beating Dexter 100%. Wait. Oh my god, I literally just said Dexter. Loki is beating Jack Sparrow, and I would even put Loki at the top of the tier. And last but not least, we have Star-Lord. So Star-Lord, in my opinion, feels like a mix between Han Solo and Jack Sparrow, with a bit of his own style thrown in. He has advanced alien technology, combat skills, and is no stranger to danger. However, he is emotionally driven and can act on impulse, which sometimes leads to reckless decisions. Now, Jack Sparrow, on the other hand, is a master of manipulation and deception. He knows how to confuse and distract opponents. So if Jack were to flirt with Gamora or even steal something important from Star-Lord, it could throw him off balance and give Jack a chance to escape or gain the upper hand. Now, if these two ever met, their similar personalities might cancel each other out. Now, Star-Lord does have the power advantage thanks to his weapons and skills, but then again, as I've been saying for this entire video, Jack has this insane unpredictability that makes him very hard to catch or even pin down. Now, this fight honestly would be a close call. Now, if it was in space, it wouldn't be a close call at all. He would be dead in mere seconds, but I'm talking about if it was just, in the real world, on Earth. I really want to say Jack Sparrow wins so badly, but I mean, obviously Star-Lord takes this 100% just because of his power and, the technology he possesses. Star-Lord does win, but I really want to put it in 50-50 because I feel like Jack could possibly get away from Star-Lord alive, even though that Star-Lord has the power advantage, but emotionally he could probably trick him or just slip through the cracks, because I feel like Jack can outmaneuver him and maybe escape him. So for this, I'll just put it as 50-50. I wouldn't put him in they would kill Jack Sparrow just because of that. And I want to know your guys' thoughts. Did I cook on this tier list, or did I completely take one big, huge, fat L? But no, seriously, help me. I am going insane. Help me.